Hey guys, welcome back here to my YouTube channel. If you are new here, my name is Joelle and I am a full-time reseller on several platforms, but Poshmark and whatnot are my main ones. And today I have a what sold video for you for the last 2 weeks on Poshmark, Depop, and Mercari. And I will also talk a little bit about new strategies that I am implementing into my reseller business. If you watched one of my more recent videos about a month ago, I posted a video on how to scale your reseller business in 2023. I will not go over those tips because there's a whole video that is linked below for you. But there are some new changes that I am kind of starting to strategize with because as resellers, we need to constantly be adapting to the new updates that the platforms we sell on are giving to us. Poshmark, for example, has made a change to their shipping prices. They have a flat rate price agreement with USPS, which is way better of a deal than any other platforms give for priority mail. And every year they increase the price by a few cents at a time. But I have to say, this year when they raised the shipping prices, seeing my earnings for bread and butter sales can be really discouraging because when I send out that $5.95 shipping offer, I am getting $2.02 deducted out of my earnings. And like I said, they make this increase every year. And last year, I feel like it didn't affect me that much, but I feel like this year, seeing that $2 mark seems like so much more being taken out than the previous year. But based off of that shipping change and some other changes that Poshmark has been making, I am starting to implement more and more strategies pretty much every day to my reseller business. So we will go over that, but first we are going to talk about what sold in the past 2 weeks. And I only have 2 categories, but they are pretty big. The first one is dresses, and then the second one is shoes. These 2 categories have made up a bulk of my sales in the past couple of weeks. First up, we're going to talk about dresses, and the first sale I have was a Mercari sale. On a $40 offer sent by myself, I sold this new at tags Varley Lagoda dress. Varley was a brand that I discovered probably 5 or 6 months ago, and I learned very quickly that it is a BOLO brand. I paid a little up for this dress at the TJ Maxx yellow tag clearance event. This dress cost me just $12, and even though I paid up, it was a really quick flip, and I was fairly confident that this would sell either quick or for a higher profit because there were a lot of other listings and sold comps for similar dresses. So like I said, this dress cost me $12, and I will say that any type of athletic dresses I am almost always on the lookout for. Athleisure was a trend that started probably a couple years ago at this point, and it clearly has stuck. So it is something that I am always on the lookout for, which is why I picked up this dress. And after fees and cost of goods, I profited a total of $22.34 for this Mercari sale. Next up was a very successful bundle. For $65, I sold this Joanna Barashi dress, which is sold at Anthropologie. And I also sold this Kurna Zabet Target collaboration dress. Joanna Barashi was a brand that I had never heard of, but I found it at a thrift store a few weeks ago, so it ended up selling fairly quick. But it retailed for quite a bit, and when I searched for it on Google Lens, I learned that there have been a lot of celebrities that have worn this brand and this particular dress, and there were a lot of listings on secondhand platforms. So I did list this one for $65. And then for the Kurna Zabet dress, I typically stray away from Target collaborations, but I got it at a fill-up bag sale, leaving my cost of goods at just $1.50. So I figured it would be worth the pickup. And I can't quite remember what I had that dress listed for, but I know it was fairly low. So I thought that the $65 offer was really reasonable, and I did not hesitate to accept. And for whatever reason on my notes, I do not have my total cost of goods or my total profit, but I will put it up on the screen. And I do know that I made a pretty decent profit on this bundle because my cost of goods were so low. So overall, I would consider this a very successful sale. Next up was a not so successful sale, but it came after I had sent out a lot of pretty drastic offers on a lot of my listings. For $12, I sold this Jules floral tiered midi dress. I thought that this dress was absolutely gorgeous when I found it at a fill-a bag sale. My cost of goods was just $1.50. So for the style, I thought that it was a great pickup, and I had never heard of the brand. So I was pleasantly surprised to see that it at least wasn't some type of fast fashion brand. but it definitely wasn't a premium brand either. I had this dress listed for $30 on all of my platforms, and it did manage to get some attention on Poshmark, but no offers. Right after it started getting some likes, I had sent out 60% off offers at the end of January on a ton of my listings. So when I received the $12 offer from the buyer, I figured I would go ahead and accept, because just a few weeks before I had been willing to sell it for $12 and discounted shipping. If I were to see this brand again, especially a style like this dress, I would still pick it up, but I would probably put it on Whatnot rather than taking the time to put it on my other platforms, because after fees and cost of goods, I profited a small $8.05. All right, next up for dresses, I have 2 Old Navy sales to go over. If you have watched some of my recent videos, you have probably heard me talk about the brand. With this brand, you won't get a high profit necessarily, but I will say that a lot of my Old Navy pieces have been selling fairly quick. And with a low cost of goods for these items, I think that it is very worth it to pick up their dresses, jeans, and jackets. So first up, for $15 on an offer sent by the buyer, I sold this Old Navy tie-dye midi dress. This one only cost me $1.25, and it did manage to sell within about 3 weeks of listing, so it was fairly quick. And after fees and cost of goods, I profited a quick $10.75. And then next up, we have this New Tags Old Navy leopard print swing dress that sold for just $9 on an offer sent by myself on Mercari. Now, this leopard print dress was gifted to me by my mom. She recently gave me a ton of clothes to sell. So because my cost of goods was $0, I was willing to part ways with it for a low price. On Mercari, it managed to get about 4 or 5 likes, so I figured I would go ahead and send some offers. I had sent out my initial 20% off. And the thing about Mercari is that when a new person likes the item, you can't send them the exact same offer. Instead, you have to send an offer that is at least 10% lower than your previous one. So whoever was a new liker, they were just continuously getting better deals. So this particular buyer lucked out because I had previously sent out a 50% offer for $10 on this dress. Nobody bought it, but I was really trying to clear out inventory, as I said before. So I did send out a $9 offer, and this person accepted almost immediately. Thankfully, Mercari has pretty low fees, and so after fees and my $0 cost of goods, I profited $7.34 for this Old Navy dress. All right, this next sale came from a little promotion that I've decided to run at the end of every month on Poshmark. So for $17 in discounted shipping, I sold this Michael Kors leopard print sweater dress. I decided that at the end of every month on Poshmark, I will utilize the bulk offer feature and send out 50% off plus discounted shipping on almost all of my items. The exception is a lot of my higher end New Tags items that I am not willing to part ways with for that low, at least because of Poshmark's 20% fees and because I pay a little bit more for those items. But when it comes to items that I paid $2 to $3 or less for, it is fair game for anybody who wants those items. Some of them might sell when I send out a 20% offer, and others will sell when I send this 50% one. And I also did this promotion last month at the end of January. So I will say overall is a great way to just clear out your inventory so you can replenish it with better items. And even though you don't get a lot of profit per item, those little sales definitely add up. I think I listed this Michael Kors dress 2 to 3 weeks ago, so it was a fairly quick flip. And my cost of goods was just $2.61 for it. So after fees and cost of goods, I profited a quick $8.97. All right, next up was a brand I had never heard of, but for $14 on Mercari, I sold this I Madeline hot pink skater dress. When I looked up this brand, I saw that it is sold on Lulu's. I'm not sure if it is sold at other places, but that was the only place that I found it at. And this dress just cost me $1.50 because it was from a fill a bag sale that I usually find most of my inventory at. So with this dress, I figured I wouldn't make a lot of profit for it, but I did pick it up because of the color. I will almost always pick up any neon or hot pink items as long as it is a good style or brand, because Barbiecore is a huge style to be on the lookout for. So like I said, I paid $1.50 for this dress, and after fees and cost of goods, I profited $10.19. All right, we have one more dress sale to go over, and then we'll talk about shoes. But for $20 on Depop, I sold this Knox Rose tiered mini dress. Now, I will say I gave myself a little pat on the back when I made this sale because this was my first Depop sale in
10 weeks.
Now, I have a love-hate relationship with this platform because when it comes to the sales I make, they almost always come from full price sales or from pretty reasonable offers. This Knox Rose dress was listed at 25 bucks. $20 is clearly a reasonable offer, but when it comes to frequency of sales, I think that 4 sales in 1 month has been my record so far. And in total, I've sold maybe 35 to 40 items. But of course, I was so happy to make this sale, and I am starting to see a little more attention on the platform again. So after Depop's low fees and my low cost of goods, I profited a total of $15.14 for this Knox Rose dress. All right, now that we have wrapped up dresses, I will say that I think dresses have been selling really well because we are in that transition period between winter and spring, and it is also wedding guest season. So I will say I always enjoy sourcing dresses, but I especially look out for them this time of year. And I will basically pick up any type of dress, anywhere from bridesmaids to business casual, any type of vacation style dress, or just a casual dress. But now we are going to talk about shoes. And first up, for $40 on an offer sent by the buyer, I sold these Patricia Nash Merlot lace-up boots on Poshmark. Patricia Nash is definitely a BOLO brand, especially when it comes to purses, but I will say that these shoes were listed for about a year. I had received them in a ThredUp shoe rescue box, but on a positive note, they did sell shortly after being relisted. So for this ThredUp shoe rescue box, I have made well over the $80 that I paid for it. So anything that I sell now is pure profit. So after Poshmark's fees, I profited $32 for these boots. All right, next up was one of those 50% off sales. For $12 in discounted shipping, I sold these Michelle D Y2K platform sandals. I picked these up at a garage sale over the summer, and I will say I was kind of surprised that they took this long to sell. I picked them up not because of the brand, but because of the style. When it comes to any type of platform sandal, I almost always pick the style up as long as the price is right. And I've had a lot of success selling shoes like this on both Poshmark and Depop. Now, I will say I only profited $5.03 for these sandals, but if I did find a similar pair again at a thrift store or a garage sale, I would still pick them up. And like I said, they sold for 50% off on that promotion day. So this sale, along with a lot of others, added up to make a pretty decent profit. All right, next up, we have another 50% off sale. For $15 in discounted shipping, I sold these soft Cassie coral wedges. These shoes were gifted to me by my mom, and so because my cost of goods were $0, like a lot of my other items I received for free, I was okay with letting them go for a pretty low price. And I do enjoy picking up brands like Soft, Naturalizer, and Clarks. They're generally comfort brands that make pretty cute styles. Sometimes thrift stores will mark them up, but if I can find them for maybe $4 or less, I will almost always pick them up as long as they're a good style or in good condition. Obviously, I was happy to get these for free. And after fees and my zero cost of goods, I profited $9.98 for these wedges. All right, next up, I sold these Coach Kyvie sequin sneakers that I received in a ThredUp shoe rescue box. And they also sold for 50% off at $17 plus discounted shipping. These slip-on sneakers have been relisted once on Poshmark, and they received a ton of likes on both of those listings. So overall, I was really happy to see these go, even though I didn't make the best profit, because I have not made my money back yet on this ThredUp shoe rescue box. So that made my cost of goods for these shoes $5.34. But based off of sold comps and the fact that these racked up a lot of likes, I think I can confidently say that this is a BOLO style, but definitely don't pay up for them. I personally wouldn't pay more than $3 or $4 for them as long as they're in good condition. I have been pretty disappointed with some recent ThredUp rescue boxes. I actually haven't ordered a shoe rescue box since I ordered this one, which I probably ordered over the summer. And at this point, I'm just trying to clear out those shoes and make my money back. And after fees and cost of goods, I only profited $6.24 for these Coach shoes. All right, we have one more sale to go over, and then I will talk about some strategies that I am implementing into my reseller business. But for $25, I sold a 2-piece bundle. First, I sold this Altered State floral embroidered romper, And I also sold these American Eagle new with tags Sherpa plaid clogs. Like Depop, I have a love-hate relationship with Altered State. I will say that Plato's Closet loves to accept the brand, and I have had some success with it on Whatnot, but when it comes to selling it on Poshmark, it tends to sit for a while in my closet. Thankfully, I only paid 98 cents for this romper. Part of me wishes that I would have just taken it to Plato's Closet right after I thrifted it, but I was okay that it sat for a while because it did sell in this bundle. And with these American Eagle clogs, this style shoe is a great style to be picking up right now. If you don't know, the Birkenstock Boston clog is a huge BOLO style right now. If you can find the Boston clog in any condition, pick it up and you will probably sell them overnight and for a pretty decent profit. It's pretty much the new Lululemon belt bag. If you find them new with tags, they will sell for more than retail. Because this Birkenstock Boston clog is so in demand and selling out so fast, that naturally means that brands that are making very similar styles will also be in demand and will sell well. So I don't know about you guys, but if I walk into a retail store, I almost always see this style of clog. I know places like DSW will carry brands like Madden Girl that will make these styles. And obviously American Eagle is doing the same thing. I know that when I looked up these shoes online, I was trying to find more details on them, and I saw a ton of other similar styles on American Eagle's website. So I can confidently say that this is a BOLO style. And for this bundle, my total cost of goods was just $5.98. So after fees and cost of goods, I profited $14.02. All right, we have now gone over my highlights of the past 2 weeks for what sold. If you don't know, I don't go over every single sale that I make. Instead, I will go over consumer trends that I am noticing within my sales, which is why I only highlighted dresses and shoes. All my other sales either weren't so special or they were items that I just let go of for a pretty low price. So I figured that they weren't worth highlighting. But I definitely asked myself, why are my sales so low? I know that my average sales price has decreased these past couple of months. So I figured that going over some strategies for my reseller business would hopefully give you all some tips, tricks, and ideas when you are planning out your own reseller business. So I'll be looking at my notes a little bit more because I wrote out some stuff, but I will say why my sales are so low is because for these first couple months as a new full-time reseller, I am focusing on clearing out old, stale, and not so impressive inventory to make rooms for better items that will either sell quick or that I know will sell for a higher profit. So for now, since the majority of my cost of goods are $2 to $3 or less, I am pretty much accepting any offers. I'm not holding any type of structured name your price sale or clear out sale, but if someone sends me more or less of a lowball offer, I am almost always accepting it rather than countering it if it is a stale listing or a bread and butter piece that I didn't pay a lot for. Obviously, there are items that I paid up for or that I more intentionally source that I will not let go of for a lowball offer. Obviously, there are items that I have recently sourced that are new with tags or higher end, and I am not going to send 50% offers for them, and I'm going to counter any lowball offer that I get. But when it comes to a basic piece like that Altered State romper that I sold in the $25 bundle, I am okay with letting go of that for a lower price because I know that there are other bread and butter items in my closet that will sell a little bit closer to my asking prices. So really those low price sales and the higher price sales basically balance each other out. So I have 4 business strategies that I will talk about. This shouldn't take too long, but the first one that I have is to source low and source items that will sell quick. So when I say sell quick, I am talking about I want most of my items to be in and out of my closet within 1 month or less of listing, which is part of the reason why I am holding this 50% off discount at the end of every month now. So even though there will be some items in there that won't make me as much profit, I'm focusing a lot more on moving items quick. So this kind of goes into my next strategy, which is to implement Whatnot more and more into my business. I will say I love buying and selling on Whatnot, but I will also say that it is very difficult to grow on the platform, especially if you don't have a huge following outside of it. So when I say I want to implement it more and more, I mean that I need to actually go live multiple times a week. I used to just do once a week and I wouldn't prepare a lot for the shows, but now I want to have more of a set schedule where I go live at least 2 times a week and maybe throw a couple of pop-ups here and there. But with Whatnot, my average sales price is going to be a lot lower than it is on Poshmark and my other platforms. But the perk of selling on there is that you are selling a high volume amount of items and making really quick money. One of the best things about Whatnot is that once you hit 1,000 sales, you get an instant payout for all of your items that sell. So let's say you sell 20 items for $150. You are immediately going to get that money as long as you have 1,000 sales. And that Whatnot strategy goes hand in hand with my next 2 strategies, which is marketing and having a monthly calendar schedule. So in terms of marketing, I'm focusing on targeting a lot more buyers on Instagram. When I first implemented my Instagram into my reseller business, I focused pretty much solely on connecting with other resellers. Don't get me wrong, that is still so important to stay connected with other people, and I will continue to do that on my social media, but now I am equally focusing on targeting buyers. So on Instagram, I am doing this with targeted hashtags. I'm promoting a lot more links in my stories and in my posts. And instead of just posting things that resellers are interested in, like what's been selling lately or what I've been thrifting, I'm also promoting my platforms and what I am currently selling to try to target buyers that would be interested in it. Another big thing I'm doing that I think is a great idea for your reseller business is having a QR code. I use my Rollo wireless printer to print out my QR codes. The stickers are fairly big, and I'm actually putting them around my local city where other people will put things that they're promoting as well. And I'm also planning on putting them on my next round of business cards. So those will be going in all of my packages that I send out to my buyers on my platforms. And the QR code will take them to my link tree, which takes you to all of my platforms, my YouTube channel, Instagram, and any type of referral link. So that takes us to the last strategy for growing my reseller business, and that is having a monthly calendar of events. And this calendar is not so much for me, it is for my shoppers. So I will post a screenshot of my March 2023 calendar, but basically I will put up all of my Whatnot shows that I'm having and any promotions that I will be holding on my other platforms. So I will have 30% off offers being sent out in the middle of the month. And then of course I will have my 50% off discount at the end of the month. So those are some new updated business strategies that I am adding to my reseller business. If you want to check out my how to scale your business in 2023, I do have that video linked below. That was one of my favorite videos to plan out, and I hope that it has been helpful for you all if you have already watched it. And for this video, thank you so much for sticking around for not only my what sold, but also these new business strategies. I hope that you got something meaningful and valuable out of this video. And overall, I am just so thankful for all the support that this YouTube community has given me. And now that we're at the end of this video, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you for the next video.